See, when I do the countdown, I get in trouble. I'm sitting here with my countdown like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the FBI comes knocking at my door.
What is it you pray for?
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 171st episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and as you can see, my partner and co-host is not up here on the panel with us tonight. He may or may not put in a cameo at some point during the show, but he is off with other YouTubers and nerds of various other shapes and sizes at MegaCon in Florida right now. So, you know, living it up. You know, hobnobbing with guys like Shatner and Carpenter. And, you know, that sort of thing. So he'll be back with us next week. But for right now, he's off, you know, acting a fool in front of celebrities, frankly. So yeah. In the meantime, we have joining us today, Abe. Welcome in.
Howdy.
And Aaron Laura. Howdy.
Hi, I am the urinator. That's my intro. Hi, guys.
That's gonna be like your whole brand is that's my intro, that's my outro.
Right.
This has been Aaron Laura, and this has been my outro.
Perfect.
You gotta work on the NPR voice though. Like, this has been Aaron Laura, and you have just watched my outro.
Okay, I'll get on that one. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
The talk radio voice.
Yeah, I haven't done NPR voice in a while. It freaks Gal the fuck out. So, anywho, welcome in everybody. As you can see, we have no Larry, therefore we have no rudder. So we're just kind of wing it tonight a little bit. I hope you enjoy. I plan to. I didn't want to leave you guys with you know, a second week of missing the show because last week there was a whole cavalcade of circumstances prevented both Larry and I from being here. Otherwise, one of us would have taken over. But long story short, we're here now, and that's all we're going to say about that. Appreciate you guys showing up and all that. So right before we get on with it, we're going to say hello to the chat. We've got Aaron Moore first. So, you know, I was watching the final episode of Ball Busters last week, which aired last week.
Yeah,
on Dermy Wormy's channel. And they had the Melees on, Melee K and Melee James. And they lost their shit every time he'd bring up like a chat from somebody who was on the panel. It's like, why are you greeting them? They're up here. And I kind of get it from their perspective. I kind of do. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, we got Old Blindy with us. Howdy, man. Good to see you. Jacob Gallows in the chat. Howdy. We have BTK with us. Hello, hello, hello. And we have, I think that's everybody so far in the chat. We're live currently on Twix, YouTube, and Rumble. If you're in any of those places, drop a comment. Let us know you're here, etc. at all. It's going to be a little informal tonight, a little bit more, I don't want to use the word intimate because there's connotations there, and Larry's seen to it that I have something of a disreputable reputation on the internet now. So
it's a bit gay. Yeah.
Yeah. So but you know, little bit more, less structured probably. We're just gonna riff a little bit, talk a little bit of probably pop culture. There's been a couple of pop culture news items that happened that everybody and their dog has already talked to death about, but it's our turn now.
There's nothing like flogging a dead horse,
right? This is my very favorite thing to do. This is the problem though with running shows at the end of the fucking week. You know,
yeah, there's already been like 300 shows that have already covered your topics.
Yeah, the only news that we're ever like ahead of the game on is on Saturdays when Trump does something because he likes to do shit on Saturdays. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else we're always way behind on. And all that, but
he does it deliberately.
We did have a couple of pieces of news come out within the last week. One of which is that the supposed Hulu Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot was shut down. They went from green light to nada. Not going to happen. Nothing.
Good.
You know.
I'm torn. I'm hoping that it would have been great, but if it's, following trends of nowadays, I reckon it would have been maybe a little more woke than I would have liked. And
So, fun fact, I rewatched Buffy
Mhm.
last year,
Yeah.
and it kind of already was. Like, there are a lot of moments that stand out and to me now that didn't back in like 1997, 98, whatever.
Yeah.
right.
That I'm just like, oh, they're man bashing for like a whole fucking episode. Awesome. You know?
Unless it's about Xander. He kind of deserved it.
Yeah, but he was written to be basically Joss Whedon's like, unsavory self.
Yeah.
Right. He was the self,
Like a stand-in.
right? And but he also wrote most of that shit too. So like, I don't know how maybe he just didn't think of him very highly of himself or whatever. But the original series was very male feminist in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. The difference being between then and now is that even though his politics and his opinions and all that seeped in through his writing and through his characters and whatnot, Joss Whedon was also a damn good writer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very few people of his talent from that era, and no people of his talent now,
Yeah.
who are allowed to make stuff. He's kind of persona non grata. So that happened.
Harvey Weinstein was great at casting. It's just a pity all the graping happened.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bad.
And that's the thing. Like, you think about what Whedon was actually canceled for versus what Weinstein went to prison for, and I'm like, there's really no comparison. Weinstein was leagues worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Very
what
much
did
so.
Whedon do? Get grumpy ass on set all the time? I mean, he's not the only fucking director and writer to do that. Now, there were some allegations about him and some of the underage actors.
Mhm.
As far as like nothing happening, but like don't leave them alone in a room with this guy kind of shit. But again, I
Yeah.
don't know how much truth there is to that. But if there is any truth to that, I mean, I'm glad they wouldn't have left like Michelle Trachtenberg alone with him, for example. But even then, like if nothing actually occurred, right?
Yeah.
If it was just an attitude problem, really, what do you guys, So I don't know. I mean,
the thing is, though, if you've ever worked in the media, having a dick-headed attitude is very common.
Extremely. It's all egos.
Mhm.
It's all ego.
Yeah.
It's the same on YouTube, man.
Oh, well, yeah.
It is in YouTube spheres. It's the same kind of shit prevails. Like a lot of bigger, for lack of a better phrase, content creators out there develop the exact same kinds of egos and the exact same kinds of behavioral issues. And
I think it's got to be something to do with certain personality types are drawn to certain industries.
I think that it also has something to do with like premature success.
Yeah,
like you get
perhaps.
to a point like somebody blows up, all of a sudden they're super famous and shit gets weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. And you're right. Some people are just drawn to this kind of thing, right? This, because like it or not, while we're not in Hollywood, we are kind of dancing with the limelight here a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
So because I mean, how many people are watching TV versus how many people watch stuff like this these days? Like we are the new entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I try and think of the last time I even watched TV, I can't remember.
I mean, I watch old stuff usually. Sometimes I watch stuff that's a little newer, but not very often. Like I found the other day on Tubi. I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be a live action RoboCop TV series that was like PG.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
That and all the made for TV movies that sequeled it and all that shit. All of that shit's on Tubi right now, along with the first 3 movies. I've been binging that shit, and it's actually better than I remember it being. Like it's cheesy as
Really?
fuck, but some of the writing and some of the character moments and whatnot is actually really good.
I mean, anything's got to be better than RoboCop 3, though.
Yeah. We don't talk about RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
So, I'm one of those guys who actually will watch RoboCop 3 because I think it's better than nothing RoboCop, but it doesn't hold
Yeah.
a candle to the first two. And the second one, I know a lot of people praise RoboCop 2 up and down, but honestly, the second one's like not even close to the same level as the first one. It isn't. Flat out.
I prefer the grotesquerie of the first one.
You know what I think is really funny though is that the same guy wrote wrote 2 and 3, Frank Miller.
Yeah.
And 2 was a damn sight better than 3.
Frank Miller?
It's that Frank Miller. Yeah, the same guy who wrote the Dark Horse RoboCop versus Terminator comic book series, which is excellent, by the way, if y'all haven't read it.
And 300.
Yeah, he did that. He did Sin City. He did a lot of Batman stuff. He is responsible for the way everybody sees Daredevil to this day because he did like a 17-year run on Daredevil, created Elektra, created the Hand, all that stuff. That Frank Miller wrote RoboCop 3.
That's surprising.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, talk about phoning it in. Jesus.
Yeah. You know, and I think at the time he thought it was good. You know, but
did he have a mysterious white powder all over his face at the time?
Well, this would have been what, in the mid 90s, probably. If I had to guess, yeah. And if I was guessing, it probably wasn't that mysterious a powder.
Probably just went on a bender and wrote it in a day.
Right. You know, but I'm watching this TV show and they've got a different guy's playing Murphy. Obviously, they don't have original Homeboy in there. Nancy Allen isn't in it at all. Her character is not talked about. They've got a different chick playing a plainclothes detective who's like his partner or whatever. Yeah. There's a little kid who just lives at the fucking precinct now and is magically better at everything that everybody else is trying to do, including the top scientists and the dispatch lady.
Because why not?
And you know what? It's got this charm to it. It's actually kind of fun and pretty good. And the guy who's playing Murphy, well, like the prosthetics makeup is nowhere near as good as it was in RoboCop, right? They managed to do some really incredible work in that first movie. But it's all right. It's not too bad. His skin kind of looks like plastic, unfortunately, but I suppose that works for what they were going for. I think honestly,
fits in, doesn't it?
That was more of a budget cut decision than it was like an aesthetic choice. But
yeah.
But the guy playing him is actually not bad at all. You know, I'm enjoying it. I haven't seen this series in like 30 fucking years, man. Because
I might go back and rewatch it.
Sorry, what was that, Aaron?
I only saw the first one. I barely remember that.
Only one of the greatest corporate satires of all time.
I'd buy that for $1.
Canadianly sorry.
Don't do it with the sorry. Sorry.
Canadianisms are coming out.
It's so funny because like most of the time, especially to the untrained like foreign ear who doesn't necessarily differentiate between accents that well, and Americans are really bad at that when it comes to like non-American accents. Like we can pick out, you know, vaguely Australian but not regional, just like continental, right? And the same with we can tell when something comes from the UK, specifically where in the UK, not usually, well, unless it's like fucking Cockney, because you know,
leave it out, sunshine.
Yeah,
fucking bastard.
That's a chimney sweep. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some Dick Van Dyke shit right there.
Right. But I mean, like, you know, that obviously we can, you know, Cockney stands out. It does. But like, you know, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between somebody from say Luton and somebody from say, I don't know, Manchester, right? Not necessarily. I mean, maybe I'll hear it, but I wouldn't be able to place which one it is.
There are only a few that are really quite distinct. And I would say Liverpool is one of them.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Because it basically sounds like Klingon.
And it was made famous in the States anyway by the Beatles.
Yeah. Their accents actually weren't that bad.
No. Theirs weren't specifically, but other people who came from Liverpool
Yorkshire.
later.
I think Yorkshire's quite unique as well.
Yeah. And like we can hear the difference between a Scotch accent and an Irish accent, but we can't necessarily replicate that on command, right? Like if I try to do an Irish accent, it always goes to Scottish, always. If I try to do an Australian accent, boom, Scottish. And it's really bad too. But
I think a lot of Americans seem to think that English accents are Australian, which I just do not get.
I mean, so Australia, Canada, New Zealand, we'll throw that in there too, and the US all did have English accents at one point. We've just diverged since.
Yeah.
But what's really funny to me is that as an American, I can always tell a Canadian.
I wonder if, like, with other foreign accents, maybe it's because you guys have so many accents in the US. Like, it's like there's so many different countries in one.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you all just think you're American, like you could be, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't all understand each other either.
Right.
Like you put a dyed-in-the-wool fucking like Cajun swamp boy in front of me, and I will understand maybe every eighth word.
See, from a foreign perspective, I think a lot of people seem to think American accents are A, regular American, and B, redneck.
Yeah, no, well, that's because that's all that they get from Hollywood, right? Anybody who's not
Yeah.
from the coastal cities in Hollywood, in movies and
and
TV and stuff,
also
sounds like a fucking somebody from I don't know, fucking West Virginia, right? Every single time. And if they're from the coastal places, they all sound like Southern Californians. California is a very big state. They have multiple accents.
The third one would be Valley Girl.
Yeah, that's Southern California.
That's it.
Yeah, that's Southern California, and that's less of an accent and more of an affectation. Like it's more of a cultural thing than it is like an actual shift in the language. They got that vocal fry, like that shit.
I
Like
hate that.
whatever.
Yeah, nobody likes that shit. Nope. Like, even Valley girls hate listening to other Valley girls. It's a whole thing. And Valley boys are even worse.
I can't even picture what that would sound like.
They sound like Valley girls, but gay.
So just gay then?
Yeah, but most of them aren't, is the thing. It's just, they just talk like they are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we got different accents all over, and that's a fair point, Aaron, that we have we do have trouble distinguishing between our own country's accents. This is also true. Like somebody comes at you with a Southern accent, right? There are like 19 different Southern accents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of them are vastly different from each other, but there's an accepted Hollywoodized Southern drawl that everybody instantly recognizes as Southern, even if they can't place where it is from. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, I don't know if it's Vermont or something, but when I think of like, it's fisticuffs and pip pip cheerio, and I wear a suit jacket, it's almost like a British, like they'll really British
and we'll go up to my
flat for some fish and chips.
Almost kind of, yeah. Like,
oh, cheerio, good fellows.
right. It kind of does come across like that. I don't know if it's Vermont or whatever state or city it is, but
to be fair, you're talking about a region that's known even today as New England. And a lot of those accents are either extremely diverged from the original colonists or not at all. Like
there are some places that do sound like they speak Old English.
I have heard linguists talk about how Bostonians sound like not modern English, but English 300 years ago.
Yeah.
Which
like
is so weird because they're like, I packed the car in the yard so I can. I mean, that kind of shit. I have heard though from some linguists that's like it's one of the more understandable accents to modern English people because apparently they sounded like that 300-400 years ago.
That's what Mancunians sound like.
Yeah,
literally. It's a lot of that sort of sound.
Right. And then you've got the transatlantic accent, which is what you hear on the news, which is a practiced, affected accent. It's not, nobody actually naturally speaks that. But it's done in such a way that it is understandable to the vast majority of listeners.
Well, they
Right.
used to do that in Hollywood quite a lot, didn't they?
No, well, they that's one of the reasons that some foreigners think that Americans sound like that for real. We don't. But
Yeah.
they do think that because that has been the image presented for 100 fucking years, because it is clipped and it is precise and it is understandable to practically everybody. And it was designed that way specifically for radio and then later, movies and television.
I mean, that's probably what Americans sounded like 150 years ago.
Maybe. I mean, it's like it's almost a non-accent.
Yeah.
It's like if you take all of the flavor, all of the lived-in, whatever out of the way somebody speaks, this is what you end up with. This is distilled down to the barest minimum kind of thing. But yeah, and then you get idiots like me, mutts, who've grown up all over, and my accent is literally all over the place. Right? I have elements in it from, the Midwest, from the high plains, from West Coast, from the South, because I've lived in a lot of places. And
see, to me, you sound like you've got a generic American accent. I couldn't place it anywhere.
Yeah, I can hear it. I get called out on it too, because locals don't sound exactly like me, because I've lived a lot of other places, and people who've lived here their entire lives have a very specific regional accent. It's subtle,
well, it's
but
the
it is
same for me
specific
as
to the
well.
region. Yeah,
like a lot of Americans can seemingly understand me quite well, but they can't understand other Brits from other parts of the country. But I can hear my own accent.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that Americans often have trouble understanding too, is that because you don't hear your accent, most people anyway, they don't hear their accents. They speak, and that's the be all end all of it or whatever. And accents only matter when it's other people speaking. They assume that Americans don't have accents, which is completely false. Everybody who speaks a verbal language has an accent of some kind.
Oh, I don't.
Of course.
I don't. I speak normal English. Normal
Really?
North American English. Just like you, Sam.
Yeah. Say process.
Process.
She's humoring me now.
Process.
It feels unnatural, doesn't it?
Process. Process.
Yeah.
Stop it now.
Say about.
I can say about.
You sure about that? Because that sounded an awful lot like a boot.
That was not a boot. That was a
boot.
Oh no!
See, a lot of that is Scottish as well, because that's how Scots say it.
Yeah, well,
my mom's parents are Scottish.
Some of it's French, though. Like
we speak not of this.
Look, like it or not, the French are the reason Canada exists as a nation today. Which is
You're welcome.
Part of the problem, actually.
Yeah.
But they
feeling a little triggered.
They did have an influence on the language there, which outside of Quebec is kind of funny, because like only people who actually speak French speak with a Quebecois accent. But if you, because even most of the French speakers there, when they speak English, they have a Canadian English accent. When you go to Louisiana, on the other hand, and you get in with the Creoles and the Cajuns, and they've got this kind of like redneck drawl to it, but a lot of that shit is a direct mutation from French accents, because it was, of course, a major port of the French before we bought it with the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
So, and it's part of the reason we can't fucking understand those people. The other part is the fact that they slur every word that they make, to run all of them together, and they speak at ridiculous rates of speed.
Yeah. American French.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. Even when they're speaking English, there's subtle hints of French connotations in what would ordinarily be not French words, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, which is so interesting because Louisiana has a lot of that. It has a ton of that influence in it, but it also has other influences, including like the local natives and that sort of thing. And some of the oldest families descended from slaves are actually in that region too, because it was a big slave market once upon a time as well. And a lot of them have incorporated into that. This is where you get sort of the Creole mix,
Yeah.
sort of incorporated like tribal dialect and tribal accents in with the French and the English, and it's all sort of mishmashed together. It's actually pretty beautiful to listen to. It's very, very pretty, but it's really fucking hard to understand unless they enunciate every word.
There was a TV cook that I used to watch years ago. He was a Cajun bloke, Justin Wilson, or as he would properly pronounce it, Justin Wilson. And
Yeah.
he would sneak in all of these little sort of Cajun aphorisms as he was talking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's oddly pleasant to listen to.
Yeah, there's a cadence to it that's there's a rhythm to it you don't get with a lot of other American
Yeah.
accents.
A nice patois.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas you get into where Sasquatch is from, Sasquatch actually has a pretty genteel Georgian accent. It's pretty understandable, all things considered. There are other people from Georgia. It's very different in some places. Like you still got the basic shape of the thing, but it's like taken on a life of its own. You know, and I'm not even talking about the cities like Atlanta. Atlanta's a whole thing on its own, right? You know?
Yeah.
I think where he's from is actually not far out from Savannah, which is again, that's the city itself almost has its own dialect of the Georgian accent. It's very, you know, almost I would say unique, but you got to also keep in mind that at the time of the Civil War, a lot of those cities and settlements and whatnot were more or less acting as city states on their own.
Yeah.
And they kind of developed on their own. And it wasn't until the North beat the fucking pants off of them and forced everybody to standardize everything that they sort of like assimilated into their own surroundings and whatnot. And so
they straight up Weinsteined them.
Yeah, well, they're recognizably Georgian, but they're also Savannan, which is not the same exactly. You know, Deliverance, I think happened in West Virginia, didn't it? I think that movie takes place in West Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The Catskills. Yeah. Which again, they have their own fucking excellent example of West Virginian accents and how they're used and whatnot. Go watch Justified. Really, really good example of those accents. They do a pretty good job of them. You know, which again is one of those like weird little places where you got different hollers and they're more or less cut off from everything else, and they sort of develop their own, you know, cultural ecosystems. And yeah, there's some stuff out there. So it's not like Americans don't have a lot of different accents to listen to, you know, to try and parse and whatnot. But we can always tell an American accent, whatever flavor it might be. We always know it's one of ours from somewhere in this country. But like with England, like I said, I hear the differences, but I can't place them. But that's only because I'm listening for the differences, right? If I wasn't, I wouldn't hear them.
Most of our regional accents are just fucking annoying, frankly.
Yeah. There's that too.
Most of my regional accents now are Urdu and Punjab.
That's a different problem.
It really is.
You know, funnily enough, we seem to have a similar problem.
We're right.
You know what though?
Yeah.
I bet if you took an Indian from Montreal and an Indian from like I don't know, Wales, they would sound different.
Yeah, and they'd still find a reason to hate each other as well.
Yeah, speaking the same language, they would probably in the same with the similar accent. There'd still be differences because
Welsh,
that's just
Indian.
naturally what happens with language. You know,
Yeah.
like you can take you guys have heard about that philosophical experiment where there was like a group of people came from the same location, had the same history, same ethnicity, same everything. And then they each moved into different valleys, and by the time they remembered that the other one existed, they couldn't recognize each other because they just culturally and linguistically diverged so much, and they were literally one valley over, kind of thing. And I don't think that there's a practical example I can point to off the top of my head, but I do remember somebody talking about that at one point. And I think that's just the case with language. It's just part of the human experience, right?
Yeah.
Tower of Babel in real time. So,
well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah. All of this to get back to, I can always tell a Canadian.
You're welcome.
There are certain tells that you guys have that are fucking universal across your whole land.
I think I sound just like a New Yorker or a Buffalo person, whatever is right down there. That's what I think I sound like.
Yeah,
it's close, but it's not quite. It's not quite, and some of that is just like, I don't know. There's a sound to it and a cadence to it, and you guys tend to have a more way of speaking than we do, anyway. But yeah, what's funny is our Wisconsinites and Minnesotans actually sound more Canadian than you guys do, but
right,
we can tell them. It's like, oh yeah, you betcha.
Don't you know? Yeah.
Well, can't trust the Yoopers over there.
Funny, my dad's side of the family, I can't even imitate their accent because they're from a small island called Prince Edward Island, and they sound, it's like Irish almost. They speak rather quickly when they get emotional.
The East Coast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very almost Irish. It gets very thick. I don't even know what they're saying.
Yo, bloody fuck are you?
Fuck you, bloody.
This shit doesn't get old. You ever see that one where they took the sound to that and they put a couple of like ducks or geese or some shit where like quacking at each other?
Yeah, I've seen one with cats as well.
Yeah,
just animals fighting each other. No, fuck you, bloody bastard.
And then, and they never play the whole thing because by the end of that audio clip, they become friends and walk away.
Yeah, you half expect them to just go, okay, have a nice day.
They do eventually. At the end of the clip,
I'm pretty sure they say something like that, don't they?
Yeah. If you get to the end of the clip, right after like 10 minutes of them screaming at each other, all these horrible obscenities, they're just like, oh yeah, you have a bloody good day. And it's like, it was nice to meet you, sir.
Have a bloody good day, bloody bastard.
Yeah, it was so fucking funny.
Oh my gosh. Remember that.
No, it was a good time. That was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. If I'm being honest, and I don't usually go in for that kind of thing.
Anyone who might suggest that doing an imitation Indian accent is somehow racist, just remember,
thank you.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Except when it's not.
You bloody bastards. Fuck you, bloody.
Yeah. Well, I used to do like a basic bitch Indian accent, Zillage, because I grew up watching The Simpsons, like a lot of us did, right? And Apu was one of the best characters on that fucking show, right? Yeah. And so I would imitate Apu's accent when I was younger, and all that, like thank you, come again, like
yeah,
that kind of thing. And then Hank Azaria got fucking canceled over that shit, which was retarded.
That was totally retarded,
right? Hey, speaking of Larry, hello from a bar in Universal Orlando. Yeah,
I wonder who might have been drinking.
I hope. Actually, he doesn't really drink, so probably not him. But yeah, Larry. I hope you're enjoying MegaCon, man. Hope you're enjoying Florida.
How you doing, bud?
We're holding down the fort, and we'll see you when you return. Good to see you. So, but yeah, I don't know. I used to practice all kinds of fun accents just because it was fun to do. And then I started hanging out with people from different countries and different regions and stuff. And I have this unfortunate tendency, like some people do, especially people who were theater kids, like I was at one point, to inadvertently pick up aspects of whoever I'm speaking to's accent and cadence, and then I can't shake it for fucking days.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I worked on a film years ago, and almost everyone on set was from Liverpool.
Power Ranger movie?
Sorry?
Is there another Power Ranger movie, Abe?
Not yet, but give it time.
Yeah, this wasn't that kind of movie. Brown chicken, brown cow.
It also wasn't one of those kinds of movies. Christ.
No.
And I went home for the weekend, and my parents were like, "Who's this scouse cunt?"
Right.
And I was like, "All right, there, Mum and Dad."
Well, my dumbass, I had this big problem when I was in high school. I was in Oliver Twist, right, the stage production, and we had a world-class dance and theater production studio come help us out and all that. They did this every year. There was a whole workshop that we had to pay money to get into and all that stuff. And I got pulled in last minute, so I got to waive the fee because I was actually working a summer job at the time, and my theater teacher called me in the middle of the fucking summer while I was at work. She's like, "Yeah, we need you to come in and do this because we can't find anybody else." And the guy who's supposed to do it like isn't around anymore. And I was like, I guess okay. So I quit my job. I was 15. It was fine. But I quit my job and I went to do this stage production, and I got cast as Mr. Brownlow, you know, the old fucker who adopts Oliver at the end of the fucking play, the one who gets his pocket picked. And I'm sitting there the whole time trying to run lines in the same accent that I keep hearing all around me, which are these like really horrendous, exaggerated Cockney accents. and I keep getting yelled at because Mr. Brownlow is a refined upper crust posh dude, and I actually had to sit down with an actual fucking dialect coach to figure that out. And once I did,
because
it was so
too
hard
busy
to hold
going,
on to.
I'm going up the old Evels and Pears, son. Now fuck off.
Right. And it was so hard to hold on to that accent because everybody else got to go with the fucking bullshit Cockney.
Yeah.
I've never seen or read Oliver Twist, but I'm hearing a Vermont accent in whoever this guy is.
Yeah, think more like the rich side of London.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah,
it's the kind of accent where literally every letter is enunciated.
Yeah. It's very clipped, very posh, very controlled.
They like to sound very proper.
So they put a lot of H's before their W's. Like
white. White. What?
Yeah, whereas the Cockneys tend to drop H's altogether, like they're not a thing. So, yeah, it was a strange time and all that. And because I have this tendency to pick up the accents that I hear around me a little bit. That was the hardest fucking thing because I was the only character on stage who had to have a different fucking accent.
Yeah, that must have been a bit tough.
Yeah, that was rough. And I'd go home and I'd be like fucking singing. It was even funnier because there are certain songs because it's a musical. There are certain songs in it that I was not participating in because, I was the rich character, so I wouldn't be hanging around with a bunch of thieving orphans, on the streets.
I'm just picturing you going home, just going, "Never before has a whore wanted more."
I mean, dude, do you remember the very first song in Oliver Twist, the Food Glorious Food?
Yeah.
Right. So it's when all the orphans are like Oliver goes up, they're in an orphanage or / sweatshop because this is the 1800s and, little hands work with fine machinery better, apparently. And so they each get a bowl of fucking like the nastiest porridge ever. Right. And Oliver's new to the place because he's recently orphaned. So he gets sent to the workhouse, whatever. And he walks up to the headmaster, and he's like, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" And the other guy's like, "More?" And it just goes into this whole thing, and all these kids start singing "Food, Glorious
Yep.
Food," hallucinating about all of the food that they're not getting because they're fucking starving orphans being beaten and forced to work.
It's almost
kind of
like a
dark
John
play.
Lithgow for free moment, isn't it?
Right. And anyway, so they were having to practice that song over and over and over again because they just couldn't get it right. Because, like I said, professional theater company. And a guy named Gary Iega used to run it. I forget what the name of the company it was, but he was like world renowned back at the time. And they kept having to go over it and over it and over again. And I'm just sitting in a rocking chair off to the side because I ain't got fuck all to do while they're running this shit. And the song was catchy, so I just kind of started quietly singing along to myself in the wings and all that shit. And this chick comes up to me at one point. She says, "If you utter one more line of that song, I will make you eat your balls." Because they were so tired of doing this.
Nice.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. I don't know, man. But accents are fucking weird. Accents are weird.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
Yes, they are.
Just the way that it works, I guess. But I suppose we should move on to the other bit of news, because, like, honestly, I don't really give that much of a fuck about a Buffy reboot. They shouldn't have even considered that in the first place. There's a whole comic book series that's seasons 8, 9, and 10 of it. So go read that if you're that interested.
That was only a 40-minute long tangent,
right? So apparently Geller is super butthurt at one of the fucking producers or executives or whatever, because there was a whole personal issue, I'm hearing now, all of a sudden, after the fact. And this wouldn't be the first time that she's accused somebody else of doing something untoward that resulted in things not happening.
I mean, this is also a kind of trend as well, though, of executives saying, "Well, I don't care for the source material."
Yeah. Like, so point is we don't actually know what happened, and I doubt that we ever will. It's very much he said, she said kind of shit. And none of that really matters. They're not doing it. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's a good thing. I don't see where they would have gone with it that would have been worth watching in the first place. Not to mention the fact that Sarah Michelle Gellar is like fucking 10 years older than I am. She's not doing stunts anymore. It's not happening.
How old is she now?
She's if she's not there yet, she's pushing 50. I believe. Let me. You know what? I'm just going to look that up right now because I'm curious. I might have misjudged her age, but I'm pretty sure she's a fair bit older than I am. And I'm 45.
She's 48.
So, fuck, she's only 3 years older than I am. Never mind. But she's still, I don't know.
Sarah Michelle
way older than me.
Yeah.
Giles is definitely way older than me.
Oh yeah.
He was the
James Marsters too.
Marsden. No, you mean Marsters. Yeah,
James Masters.
They really got to do something about those surnames.
How old's James Masters then?
Would have been in his 50s.
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
63.
Really? Okay, then yeah.
That explains.
No fucking way.
But yeah, he really was vampire age when they filmed the show. Like,
yeah,
quite a bit older.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't think. I think it's probably better that they didn't bring it back. I kind of wonder how they were going to get around the Dawn issue. If they were going to do a recast, or if they were going to write in track. Somehow
she turned back into a key or something.
That would be kind of retarded, given how they ended that storyline.
Or they put the key in the hole. Back she went to whence from she came.
That was the whole point of that storyline, was to prevent exactly that from happening, right?
Well, they don't win every time. They fail a whole lot.
All right.
I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if they'd have just written in that she'd have died, just like it did with her mum.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing that with Xander because the guy who played him is persona non grata. They don't want anything to fucking do with him.
Nicholas Brendan.
Yeah. Larry says, all right, everyone, I'm heading out, but I will give you a full report next Friday, and we will pick up the detective game later. Chat panel, especially you, Sam, you handsome green god. Yeah, well, thank you for that.
Have a great
we'll see you
time,
then.
Larry.
So enjoy MegaCon.
I'm
enjoy
over here
Florida.
being green, and I'm just chopped liver.
Well, you're also wearing a mask. Your sexiness isn't hanging out of your face like mine is.
I think the Fine Line mask is very sexy.
Yeah,
thank you.
Not like the tentacles. See, people look at that mask and they're like, "Yeah, it's a shiny mask." They look at these tentacles and they're like,
"Check out my shiny helmet."
They're like, "Yo, what those do?"
Yeah, I'll see you later, Larry. Have fun.
But yeah. That was like they were definitely going to write out Nicholas Brennan's character. He was just going to be written off to be off somewhere else. He wasn't going to be in it at all.
Yeah,
obviously they were doing this without the blessing of Joss Whedon in the first place, which is interesting because that brings us around to our next talking point, which is the Firefly animated reboot that they announced earlier this week.
It's going to be an animation.
Yeah, like half an hour episodes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're not decanonizing Serenity. So this is supposed to take place in the 9 months between the final episode of Firefly and Serenity, which if you all watched both of those things, you know that there are some discrepancies because they had to alter some things to make it the movie palatable to audience who didn't actually watch the show. So that doesn't really line up anyway. But there was supposed to be about a 9-month period between them. And so this will be episodes taking place between there, covering some stuff that we missed in the show. Probably they're going to get into book stuff a little bit, which is interesting because I'm wondering who the fuck's going to voice that character because Ron Glass is dead. And they will probably be getting more into the Alliance guys who were fucking with River's brain and getting more into that storyline, a lot of that stuff that we missed out, and sort of flesh out the whole like she's a psychic weapon thing a little bit more than the 2-hour movie or an 1.5-hour movie or whatever the fuck was able to do. I imagine there will probably be some characters that we haven't seen for a bit pop up again, like Saffron, for example. I was going to say Adeline Niska, but I'm pretty sure he fucking died in the second appearance. So
Saffron, the wife.
Yeah, our Mrs. Reynolds.
Fake wife. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what they're planning to do that with, and they're going to apparently the entire remaining cast is going to be reprising their roles via voice acting, including Alan Tudyk, because again, this is supposed to take place before Serenity, so Wash is still alive.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I guess in the announcement panel, the only one who wasn't there was Adam Baldwin.
People who
he's apparently
haven't seen something that's been out for 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. If you look, if you haven't seen it, that's not my fault at this point. You know? But yeah, Adam Baldwin was the only one who wasn't at the announcement panel, and it was apparently not because he's not in with them on this. He is. He just had a prior engagement that night, so he will be back as Jane, which is good. And yeah, everybody's coming to do their thing again, which I think I'm torn on this. I'm very torn on this because I'm like, on the one hand, we got what we got, right? And it was glorious. It was short, unfortunately, but it was glorious while it lasted. I don't know if y'all read any of the comic books, the supplementary stuff, because Whedon apparently does this with all his properties. But there was this really, really good one called A Shepherd's Tale that actually told you Daria Book's story, like all the stuff that was only hinted at in the show and the movie, and it's quite good. So I don't know if they're going to cover any of that information, or any of that stuff, but and how they're going to do that without Ron Glass. Like, I mean, I know they could just recast him and it's animated, so you can have literally anybody doing that voice. It's just it just doesn't seem right to me. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Part of me is kind of like, yeah, okay, I could get behind this. I could see this. And part of me is like Aaron was like saying about Buffy. And it's like this could go wholly and completely wrong for completely preventable reasons.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a case of, did you want more or do you want none?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you get more, you're going to have to accept that it's made in the modern day.
Yeah. Yeah. So
sometimes none is better.
Well, and here's the thing: is like, as far as I know, everybody who's involved, right? Well, to a degree, like the two showrunners that they announced. I'm failing to remember who they were off the top of my head, but I don't have a lot of faith there. So
Yeah.
you know, we'll see. We'll see. It's not like the Stargate reboot or new show. I shouldn't even say reboot because it's not a reboot. It's a new show in the franchise. But while I have my trepidations about that, I have a little bit more faith in it because of the presence of guys like Martin Gero, who wrote some of the very best episodes of Atlantis, and guys like Joe Malozzi and Brad Wright are all in on it. And these guys care about the world, or at least they have been perceived to have cared about the world. And Malozzi's been very in touch with fans since like back in the days of like message boards, you know, before we had the internet as it is today. He's been in touch with fans the entire fucking time. He's still in touch with fans to this day.
Very
And
much so.
I think he has an understanding of what's going to work for us and what isn't, as viewers and all that. Plus, these guys are all fans of the show. They're fans of the source material. That's something that's sorely fucking lacking whenever they're doing anything these days, is that they're hiring people who either don't know the material or fucking hate it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's no good. That's no good. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure about how this is going to go.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Old Blind or BTK. Yeah, I saw that the other day. I saw that they're going to AI Val Kilmer into a movie he apparently signed on for before he died. I'm not.
I think they actually already did some of the production, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not happy about this. I think this is fucked up. You know, and they've been doing this shit with like guys like James Dean for a while now.
Didn't his family sign off on it as well, though?
I don't think that should matter. Let the man rest. But yeah, I think they did.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they did that same thing with. Well, I think Carrie Fisher was still alive when Rogue One came out, so never mind about that. But they did CGI her into it. But they did it with Peter Cushing, who was very dead at the time. So,
very dead. Yeah.
You know. So, and I'm reasonably certain that they basically synthesized James Earl Jones's voice for that, even though James Earl Jones was still alive at that point as well.
He himself did sign off on it, though. He did basically sell his voice to the studio.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Because it gets to a point there where, okay, so now he doesn't own his voice. I mean, he's dead and gone, so he can't do anything about it anyway. They own his voice. They can use it any way they want. And at some point, it just becomes like a generic copy. It's no longer iconic.
I mean, it is a little ghoulish. I mean, on the one hand, you've got the classic phrase of everybody lives forever on video. But now you literally will.
Yeah. You know, and also I don't understand how people like take Val Kilmer's family, for example, his kids. His son Jack is an aspiring actor because I don't think he's that good yet, but he is making movies that he's in. He was in one with a guest that we had on one time. Corin Nemec had written and directed or he had co-written a film called Dead Man's Hand, and they had Jack Kilmer in that alongside Cole Hauser and some other people.
Yeah,
he wasn't that good in it. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms, that movie. But the point is like, as an actor himself, right? He's got to be a SAG card member, or he's got to be carrying a SAG card. He's got to be doing all the things. How you know, if all of Hollywood is up in arms about AI taking their jobs, this is literally what that looks like. Right?
Well, I mean, it speaks more broadly to the AI issue as well, though, doesn't it? Is that people in Hollywood need to understand they're not the only ones. It's everyone in every industry.
Right.
You're not special.
No, that's again, that's kind of a different discussion, but yeah, you're right about that. But what I'm saying is like, I don't understand why Jack Kilmer would in any way be okay with his family signing over the rights to his father's likeness and voice to be used in AI, to be inserted like that. Because once they're doing it with dead people, they can easily do it with living people, or just create non-human entities to fill those roles. You know, oh, you want a little bit too much money? Fine, we'll just plug an AI in that role.
Well, it's got to be super fucking weird that, you know, in this case, say your dad has died, you've gotten over it eventually to some extent. You know, 10 years down the line, oh, your dad's in a new movie. What?
Yep.
And you see a man that you've known to be dead for years is now all of a sudden right there in front of you again.
Yeah.
That's got to be weird as shit.
It's like getting a new Michael Jackson album now, except that he actually did make all of that music before he died. So,
bro, Lil Peep died in 2017.
Little who?
Lil Peep, right? He's a rapper.
Okay, I'll take
was a rapper. He's put out like 10 times more albums whilst he's been dead than he put out when he was alive.
Strangely, I still have never heard of him.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, kudos for the work ethic, but it's not getting that far if I haven't heard.
I know, right?
So,
hey, he's putting that time in the afterlife.
Right, he probably still votes too.
Terrible. Damn.
He's probably ODing in heaven right now.
Nice.
We're terrible people, and by we I mean me. But you know, I don't know.
Let's go with that.
I don't. And this I guess goes back to the book thing. Like, I hope that they just cast somebody to fill that role, and somebody just to play the character, not to imitate Ron Glass. You know, I hope that that's the way they go with it. You know, if at all. But I'm not. I don't know. I'm not really that jazzed about this, and you'd think I would be, because I was one of those people going around for years after Firefly ended saying, you know, like I had this pickup line I got off of a fucking greeting card one time that actually worked once or twice. Was, I want you more than season 2. You know?
Yeah.
And I you know, and I believed that at the time that you know, season 2 would have been a great fucking thing, and maybe 15 years ago it would have been. You know, but I think
fucking old blindy. Can we just revive theater, but it's taxidermy dead celebrities being marioneted?
Yeah. Actually, I think there is an art exhibit that travels around that's basically like dead people who have signed over their bodies to be like positioned in like Tea Party type situations and shit on stages. It does exist. It's out there.
I thought you were gonna go like that with that medical.
Yeah, it's like Theater of the Macabre or some shit like that. Well, these are basically like preserved taxidermied corpses.
Really? What's it called? What's it called? I gotta write this down. That sounds very interesting.
I don't remember. I'm sure you'd come up if you looked that up, but be careful with that watch history, I guess. that search history. But yeah, it's been going on. I mean, maybe they're not still doing it, but
there's an interesting backstory behind that. In that, just look it up. Basically, everyone who's in those things were basically Chinese political prisoners that were killed.
Yeah, a lot of them were. Some of them were
you're ruining it for me.
Some people who had like, you know, terminal conditions who signed their fucking their bodies over after the fact too. It's not all Chinese political prisoners, but there's a fair number of them.
There was an interesting show by Dr. Gunther von Hagens in which he created these slices of the human body.
Yeah, I think I remember something about that.
Yeah, and you could basically just like walk through someone's body.
Yeah, because it was done like real thin, like you would do with an onion.
Yeah.
What is that
Yeah.
called? Did you say what it was called, Abe? I don't know why I want to know what all these
I didn't
things
know.
are.
No, I don't remember what it is.
Don't look it up.
People
It's
sliced like onions. I
own-
don't know if I'll get any results.
For your own
Yeah.
peace of mind, don't look it up.
I wouldn't even know what to look up.
so yeah, but I mean, I guess all they'd have to do is take one of those exhibits though, and like attach some fucking industrial strength marionette strings to them, lube up the joints a little bit. And there you go. You got a show. Yeah.
Lube her on up.
For some reason, that's making me think of being John Malkovich, which is disturbing.
See, I'm just thinking of Pinocchio.
Well,
I got no strings to hold me down, to pick me up, to turn me around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went like in college every term. One of our professors, he liked taking us because he was a chiropractor, and the chiropractic college is where they have the cadaver lab down in Toronto. So that's where we would go quite often. And I just loved poking through the bodies and pulling on tendons and watching the fingers move, and that's very fascinating to me. Yeah, like that's it's where they
are we on a stream with a psychopath right now?
Or a medical student.
I mean, I'm on stream with two psychopaths right now. Come on now.
Yeah, but when I'm
pretty
pulling
sure
on
I'm the
somebody's
most
tendons, I
normalist
prefer them to be
person.
alive.
Well, if we all find the idea of marionetting corpses kind of amusing, yeah,
Yes.
you're probably right.
A little
I'm
bit.
starting
It's
to
a
get
little
Lies
bit.
of P vibes too.
Look. It's not like you're hurting them.
Right. That's
Yeah.
right.
You can never
You
hurt them
get it.
again.
You get it.
So yeah, I was watching something the other night where somebody was saying that it's not like oh yeah, I think it was in The Expanse season 1 where Miller starts like digging around in the corpse to looking for something specific and all that, and his partner's like looking at him like, oh my god, what are you doing? And he's like, what? It's not like I'm hurting him, he's dead. Oh man, that was a good time. It was good stuff. Anywho, so yeah, what's amusing to me is both of the properties that had big news this last week are both Whedon properties.
Yeah.
Well, I mean they're Warner Brothers, but they were created. Well, I guess no, they're not. They're Disney now because Disney owns everything Fox owned. Which is interesting because how the fuck did Disney and Fox end up acquiring Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the fucking first place? Because that wasn't even, it was on UPN, right? And then it was on the WB, and then it finished out on the CW when those two networks merged.
Yeah, didn't it start out as the WB?
Yeah.
Buffy?
Well, no, it started out on Fox originally, but then it was moved to UPN, which is like a higher number station. That they didn't show a lot of great stuff. That was one of the few things on there that was pretty good. Most of the rest of the time, it was like Jerry Springer and Montel Williams. So,
Montel Williams.
Yeah,
Okay,
you are not
now.
the father. And then they ended up sliding over to WB, which is Warner Brothers Network, not affiliated with Fox. In fact, a rival to Fox and all that stuff. And that's where the show ended. Like as far as I knew, they were a Warner Brothers property at the time when the Fox Disney merger occurred. Firefly was still owned by Fox.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they acquired that or acquired the rights to make that, because this reboot, this Buffy thing, was supposed to be on Hulu, which is again a Disney property.
Corporate merger bullshit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. The Firefly thing makes sense. They were always, under that purview and all that stuff. What's funny about that though is because Disney has owned a number of companies that have made some very questionable things over the years, like the Weinstein Group,
Mm-hmm.
who and also Dimension, which made a lot of great fucking horror movies and shitty ones.
Yeah.
And they also made movies like Kids and Priest, which are some of the most horrendous things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Those are two separate movies, by the way, not the same movie. I'm just making sure everybody understands that I didn't mean to group them like that. And all that, which is really funny to me because if you actually go back and you look at like the rights and the transfer of rights of the Hellraiser properties, Pinhead is currently and has been at 2 other occasions within the history of that character since 1987 a Disney princess.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got a new favorite Disney princess now.
I'm just saying, right? So, in
He's so
addition,
precious.
in the 2022 remake, which was only available on Hulu, right? Made for Hulu in conjunction with Hulu and their parent company, Disney.
Mhm.
Disney Princess, right? If you go back to the mid 2000s, around about that era, I think it was
Yeah.
Deader and Hell World, which were both filmed at the same time and came out at the same
Yeah.
time because they were actually separate films that had nothing to do with Hellraiser, that had that inserted so that they could hold on to the fucking licensing rights, the Dimension. But Dimension was at that point a subsidiary of the Weinstein Company, which at that time was owned by Disney.
I think We Have Such Sights to Show You would be a great song.
I want to see. I want to see.
Yeah. Like a
fucking
dancing
while
musical
eviscerating
type
Elsa.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Night Tour of Hell.
Yeah, I don't have all of the timeline in front of me. I mapped all this out a couple of years ago because the whole
Oh,
thing
God.
fucking amused the shit out of me.
Best believe I'm going to AI the shit out of that now, Aaron.
I mean,
Do it.
if you think about it, Predator is now a Disney princess too, which is why in all the recent movies he's a giant pussy.
Mhm.
Well, got a mouth that's not unlike one.
Yeah, but that was always the case. I'm talking about now he's a little
Yeah.
bitch as well.
Horrible, but it's
Is it-
true.
He's a bitch and a pussy.
Yeah. No, just not like Prey was the worst fucking movie. It was so bad.
Yeah,
I haven't
wasn't
even
a
watched
fan.
Badlands yet because I fucking hate the new designs that this Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who's got the who's making all the new stuff. I fucking hate his new designs. I think they're awful. He keeps fucking with them. He's like, hey, let's make it look a little different. I was like, okay, so now you're fucking with the lore on top of just the general aesthetics because there were several different breeds of Predator, but they have specific looks, right? You can't just fucking change it up willy-nilly just because you're like, oh, I think this design looks cool. That's not how that works. That'd be like, hey, let's make a movie about humans, but all of a sudden they're all dog-faced. But we're still gonna call them humans. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. And they're all gay.
Well, and like apparently he gets girl bossed around by an android with no legs.
Yeah.
Carried around C-3PO style from like Return of the Jedi. I can't bring myself to fucking watch it. I have it available to watch, and I can't bring myself to fucking watch it because I did watch Prey out of curiosity. I thought, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't be because The Predator was shit. I actually kind of liked Predators though. Right? The one before that.
Yeah.
But and
that was the one with Adrian Brody, right?
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent movie. All things considered.
Good
Plus,
twist.
by the way, that movie illustrates the difference between breeds of the Yautja. There are 2 different subspecies in it.
Yeah.
and they hate each other.
Yeah.
You know, they tried to do that again with The Predator, but like that whole movie was a colossal fucking failure.
That was retarded.
Just a failure of execution. But I even like I love the first Predator. Obviously, it's a great fucking movie. I even like both of the Alien versus Predator movies, and I'm very aware of how bad they are. I still enjoy them.
Both?
Yes, both. You heard me.
Get out.
Dude, when the fucking Pred alien goes through the maternity ward, that was some of the most horrifying shit I've ever seen on screen. It was well done because I was like, gross. You know,
the second one must have had such a big drop in budget, though.
Well, they did. That's why they turned the lights down for pretty much the whole movie, and you can't see anything.
Yeah,
it was dark all the time because they didn't want
the second one was trash, bro.
Shitty CGI. Yeah, but you know what redeemed it for me? The reason that I like that one better, in fact, better even than Alien vs. Predator, because in the first Alien vs. Predator, I had massive problems with, and I still enjoy the movie, but I still have those same problems. They stole Michiko Noguchi's whole entire character and storyline and gave it to somebody on contemporary Earth.
Yeah,
that I have a huge problem with. You know, a lot of that stuff. The fact that they put a goddamn, like, why in the hell would they go to a Mayan temple in a frozen world or a frozen part of the world when it is documented that they hate the fucking cold?
Yeah.
You know, that's why they only show up in the hottest parts of the world at the hottest times of year.
Some of the imagery was a bit questionable as well, because, you know, like the black woman protagonist, and this is probably one of the earliest examples of this type of shit seeping in.
You could say that.
When, like, she had braided hair, and she and the Predator, their hair moved almost exactly the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have as a huge issue with that or anything, because Michiko does that same thing when she goes at the end of the original Alien vs. Predator comic books, when she is the only survivor, her and Broken Tusk, the hunter, right? He takes her with him when he goes back to her people, and she tries to integrate into their society. So she ends up doing that with her hair.
Yeah.
Like making it look like they don't have hair. They have head tentacles, which is the other reason that I have a problem with this new side shaved bullshit look, because those are appendages, dumbass, not hair. You know? It's like, why the fuck would you cut those off? You know?
Yeah.
And that's a terrible goddamn design look. It makes his head look all fucking bad, not right, and all that stuff. But yes, the reason I liked Alien vs. Predator Requiem even better than Alien vs. Predator, which I did enjoy, is because Alien vs. Predator is a fucking PG-13 movie with 2 hard R monsters.
When you say hard R monsters,
I refer you to Alien when Lambert gets, shall we say, her tail split by the actual bladed tail. Like, they don't show it fully, by the way. It's mostly off screen, but you know what's happening. You know,
that's going to stick with me now.
The
2 hard R monsters.
Yeah, well, they are like there are movies, but they're hard R movies, and that's one of the things I liked about Requiem. It's a hard R movie. A fucking 10-year-old kid gets chest bursted.
That went way over my head until just now.
I know, right?
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. A 10-year-old kid gets chest bursted in the first 8 minutes of that movie.
Oh,
on screen. You can't miss it. It's right front and center.
Good times.
I thought so.
Yep.
You know, I was like, oh yeah, they're going to go for it this time, and they did. In when they could show things that weren't in the dark, like the maternity ward scene, which was super fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the most messed up things I've ever seen in a movie.
Fuck those kids. Executive producer Harvey Weinstein.
Right. Hey, Mr. Grant Gregory. No, this is not, in fact, Crimson Desert. That will be late tomorrow night.
So Grant.
It's really just like, wow. Yeah. I mean, I liked the movie. And then when they're running down the hallway, right, and they're trying to get away from the xenomorphs, and they get to T Junction, and all of a sudden the fucking bladed thing comes out of nowhere and pins the fucking hot blonde to the wall, and she's just dead. There's no like, she doesn't have an emotional scene. She's just fucking wall decoration at that point, right? And I love that shit. It was great.
Oh, murder.
And there was some bad CGI in it, like when the hippie got his the druggie got his face splashed with like alien blood and his whole face melted inward and all that stuff. But at least they were willing to show that shit. They danced around it in Alien versus Predator, and that was infuriating to somebody who wanted to see some blood spill.
Blood, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I went to. I've told this story on the channel before. I don't know if I've told you two in particular. I went to see Requiem in theaters on Christmas, which is the day it released. I don't remember what the year was exactly, but it was the same date that The Golden Compass came out in theaters. And the theater I was in had a bit of a mix-up. Half of the audience was there to actually see The Golden Compass, and they showed Alien versus Predator Requiem. There were families with little kids. There were 3 old ladies sitting right in front of me. A lot of people got up and walked out after that first 8 minutes.
Goofy, murder! Goofy, shut the fuck up. I love murder.
I'm gonna mute that shit.
Told me to.
I'm gonna mute it. Knock it the fuck off.
It just seemed appropriate.
But to the 3 old ladies who were sitting directly in front of me, to their credit, even though they were clearly there to see The Golden Compass, they stayed for the entire movie. I was very impressed with their fortitude and their willingness to. I mean, on a certain level, it's just like we're old and we're cheap and we paid for this, so we're gonna sit through it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, it was an honest mix-up. They just had a bunch of tickets go to the wrong fucking the wrong viewing room, and there were a lot of very upset people right away because like I said, there's like an 8-10-year-old kid bites it right after his dad does, and then it's off to the races from there. But I even like those movies, but Prey sucks. It sucks. It is the fucking worst, and for all the wrong reasons. Because like there are actually some good actors in this who play their parts pretty well. I forget the character's name, but the one who plays our main heroine's brother, right? He's a great fucking character. The guy who played him was awesome. He gets fucked over like the rest of the tribe because of her idiotic actions. And there was that stupid attempt to tie it into the end of Predator 2, which I wasn't very pleased with. And it didn't even make any sense, because this was like a proto, it's like, oh, it was way in the past, so they looked at different. And it's like, no, they fucking didn't. They have space technology. They've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's not like it.
You have a fucking long ass minute.
Oh man, yeah. And so they were just like, oh yeah, this one's the primal one. It's like, oh, okay. So if he's the primal one, why in the fuck is he hanging out with these guys who ended up with that flintlock pistol in 2, who are clearly much more sophisticated and advanced than he was?
Yeah.
Right. That makes no sense. The fact that all of the, hunting and fighting age men in that tribe, every single fucking one of them gets killed.
Yeah.
Leaving only the old women and the very old man chieftain.
Mm.
And she's like, well, I can hunt for us and all this. I was like, no, you can't, because you're a Plains tribe Indian. You know what happens to Plains tribes when they lose all of their fucking young men? They either get slaughtered, absorbed, or sold.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. She murdered her tribe by stupid decision making. And a slow death at that, too.
Yeah.
And it gets even better, because if you actually watch the credits, right, they do a bunch of like cave painting style, like, oh, we're just going to paint the story of our history on the side of the teepee kind of shit. The Predators come back to that specific tribe. They're all fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, it was, what was the fucking point?
Aren't they supposed to be doing a sequel?
Oh, I hope not. I mean, look, I don't have a problem with Amber Midthunder. I think she's an okay actress. I really do. I've seen her in other stuff.
Yeah.
She's not bad.
Yeah.
That role was poorly written.
Well, as usual, it's always bad writing.
Yeah.
Not the actor's fault, unless you're, Rachel Zegler.
Well, I mean, Rachel Zegler's unibrow does a lot of the heavy lifting there, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. It's a bit of a caterpillar. I keep expecting that thing on her face to sprout wings and fly off her face.
Oh, yeah. Or she just fly the fuck off.
like seriously, she's harboring a nascent butterfly on her forehead.
Yeah. Well, one day she's going to be doing an interview and then it just bursts out.
Yeah. No, I don't even know why people are still talking about that twit.
No.
Like, she's not getting work anymore that anybody gives a fuck about. Right. And her name has come up recently on a bunch of fucking other channels here. And I'm like, why are you talking about her again? Why?
She's doubled down on the race baiting bullshit.
But none of that matters if she doesn't matter. And she only matters if we pay attention to her.
Yeah, basically.
That's the thing. She can say whatever she fucking likes. And that's fine. She's an American. She's got freedom of speech too. She can say whatever the fuck she likes. But we don't have to listen. And we don't have to make a deal out of it. We certainly don't have to fucking amplify it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like what was his name? Dylan Mulvaney.
Ugh.
A few years ago,
Men.
Dylan Mulvaney was kept popping up doing different things and kept, just, it was like, oh, look, here's Dylan doing a new gay thing, or here's Dylan pretending to be a woman over here now. And it just kept happening. And it honestly, that would have stopped if everybody stopped giving that motherfucker airtime.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was getting like airtime and like all the sponsor stuff. That was weird. It's just so weird.
See, you forgot about both of them because we stopped bringing them up.
Isn't this basically what Morgan Freeman said years ago about racism?
Yeah, he said stop talking about it.
Stop talking about it.
Like, he said, don't call me a black man, just call me Morgan Freeman. That's my name.
Having an interview with, was it Mike Wallace, I think? And
it's about February, right?
Yeah, and he was just talking to him, and he's like, all right, you stop referring to me as a black man, and I'll stop referring to you as a white man. He's like, well, I'm Jewish. All right, fine, whatever. A Jewish man. It's like, doesn't matter. We stop talking about that shit, and we just refer to each other as men.
Yeah.
And he, again, dude was
very
right.
simple.
Yeah. So that guy ruined Bud Light. To be fair, Bud Light was kind of shit to begin with.
When has Bud Light ever been good?
Light beer is not good. Light beer is not good. And Bud Light beer is up there with, like, I don't know. I think Coors Light edges it out, but only barely. It's
Jesus. The only thing worse is probably a Carlsberg.
I don't know why anybody drinks light beer anyway. It's like smoking light cigarettes, right? It's not as fulfilling as a full cigarette, a full flavor cigarette. It really isn't. So you end up smoking 3 of them to kind of like catch up a little bit on that shit. And you end up long term smoking more cigarettes with the light shit, which is supposed to help you cut back because it's supposedly better for you in the long run than you would if you just smoked the fucking full flavors.
Or go for menthols.
Oh, menthols are actually way worse for you. They
certainly taste better.
Yeah, they do this thing where they crystallize the cilia in your lungs, which then snaps off, and you need those to breathe. So,
who needs to breathe?
Like, I'll take the cancer over that shit. Thank you. So, that cool menthol flavor. Yeah, what that's doing is there's these tiny little fiber like nodules inside your lungs that actually collect and process the oxygen into your bloodstream. And you need those because that's the only way your lungs work. And it hardens and crystallizes those, and then they snap off.
Old Blindy says, asbestos light for me.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
and that's kind of my point, right? You're already doing the fucking poison, like calling it, slapping
smoking
light
it
on
or
it,
drinking
saying
it?
it's not quite as bad for you if we say it's light. No, it fucking is. Either quit
Go
or
big or go
get
home.
on it.
Yeah.
You know. So, and that's Lucky Strikes. Winston's are not good. They're Lucky Strikes I can handle, but Winston's have this kind of harshness that feels like somebody just took a razor blade to your uvula. It's not good. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like somebody says, I'm gonna smoke light. Like I knew this motherfucker when I was in high school, right? Started out smoking Camel Wides. Now, for those of you who don't know, a Camel Wide is a slightly thicker Camel cigarette that sort of gut punches your lungs a little harder than a regular Camel does.
Mhm.
So somebody was complaining about how unhealthy these were, and we got to like stop these things from being a thing and all that stuff. So what does Camel do? Their response is they put out Camel Wide lights, which are no different than smoking a regular full flavor Camel. It's just thicker.
It's just marketing.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's all it's ever been. It's marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is coming from a smoker, right? I do smoke. I smoke quite a bit. I'm just not deluded enough to think that lights or ultralights or any of that nonsense is actually going to make it any healthier for me. It's not.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So when somebody says light beer, I laugh in their fucking face because I was like, why are you even, what's the point, man? Or like diet soda, for example. I was like, it's still got all the same shit that's fucking bad for you that the regular soda has. It just tastes worse.
It's like, oh, it's healthier. It's light beer. There's 1% difference between this and the regular.
You know, and
that's nothing.
That's the thing. It's not better for you. It's just marketed so that you'll think that it is better for you. You're still poisoning yourself one way or the other. Might as well own up to it or fucking get off the stuff altogether.
9 out of 10 doctors recommended Camel, right?
Once upon a time, actually, yes.
Yeah. not Camel Lights, just Camel.
Yeah, I just realized I'm gonna have to put the thing up. God damn it.
Oh yeah.
Is it not medical advice?
No, it is not. It is not.
So I am a former massage therapist, registered. So close. You know, I played around with cadavers.
I am not.
Don't do drugs unless you want to.
I just have a lot of experience with poisons in my body. Don't do bad stuff, kids. It's not good.
Unless you want to.
I mean, that's the sort of attitude that sort of gets us into trouble, though, isn't it? That kind of libertarian outlook. I don't even want to get into this because this is more of a topic for another show. But there's a part of me who's just like, I don't have the right to make decisions for other fucking people. And then there's especially not adults who are capable of deciding whether or not they want to do harm to themselves. Like it's kind of whatever. But on the other hand, I'm like, we said that so fucking much, and look at where we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should go and make some decisions for some fucking retards.
Yeah. Don't do all of the things that I've done, even though I had a fantastic time doing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, Zillage, that's complete marketing bullshit. Like the water vapor still transfers tar and nicotine, which is the problem in the first place. It's like it's just not smoke, so it's a little more pleasant for people around you, unless you get blown in the face with it. And then there's like it's the same as somebody smoking. Might as well be smoking at that point. Also, I think there was a issue with some of the earlier delivery systems that were causing severe and immediate lung problems in some people.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it just, I don't know. Either understand what you're getting into and commit to the bit, or maybe just don't do the bad things to yourself, because it's honestly, take it from somebody who's done the bad things. It's not fucking worth it. It really isn't.
Mm.
You're going to end up paying for it for the rest of your fucking life, and in ways that you're not going to expect. right? So yeah, it's just it's not a good idea, and that's pretty much my TED talk there. But on the other hand, like I said, I'm not your fucking mother. You know, you do make your own decisions, and hopefully you make decisions that don't end up fucking you over in the long run. Like I've made stupid decisions that had nothing to do with drink or drugs or smoking or alcohol too, that I'm also paying for.
Yeah.
You know,
it turns out you could be stupid and be completely sober.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
My arthritic joints cry out in agreement.
Yeah.
So I was looking back through some of my older shorts on the channel here the other day because I was kind of bored, and I was like, I don't even remember what I said in these things. And I got to one in particular where I was talking about pronoun usage and people getting offended at in incorrect pronoun usage, because this was a few years ago, so it was a big topic of discussion at the time. And I was like, oh, your feelings got hurt because somebody used the wrong pronouns. My best fucking friend yanked my leg out of the goddamn hip socket. Suck it the fuck up. It's like, you don't know pain. You fucking bitch. And yeah, I'm still paying for that injury. Injuries cost me some problems.
Yeah.
And that happened when I was 19, and I'm 45 now. Yeah.
And ironically, with those issues, drugs would actually help you out a lot right now.
They'd certainly make it so that I didn't feel the issue as much, but it wouldn't solve the issue, because essentially what happened,
No, of course not,
was that so your hip, like the top of your femur is a ball joint, right? And it slots right into where the hip is. So it came out. It didn't tear out open the tendons or ligaments or any of that stuff. It stretched them, and that was painful, but it didn't tear them. But the bone
when it
actually
came out, was it fabulous?
No, it was not, because then I couldn't stand on my fucking leg because it wasn't attached anymore. And
it came out singing and dancing.
No, it came out and
singing,
like, it hurt.
I am.
It hurt, but I didn't like cry out or anything like that, because I was a young, dumb, full of cum 19-year-old idiot. And I might have been 18. I don't know. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And essentially what happened was I threw a roundhouse kick, and motherfucker caught it and yanked hard.
Oh, shit.
And my dumbass decided I was a tough sumbitch, so I put it back in myself, which was about 3 times as painful as the initial injury in the first place. And as a result of that, it sort of like shaved the bone a little bit, so that it's a little loose in the socket now, and occasionally just kind of comes out on its own if I laid wrong, or I sit wrong, or I step wrong.
Yeah, that's not like a shoulder joint. That's, man, ouch.
Yeah, so it's not broken. It's just a little loose, and it's been so many years that I'm actually kind of used to it when it does happen, and I can put it in with minimal discomfort. It's not that it's not uncomfortable. It's just I've been used to it for years now. But on occasion, I'll be walking, and all of a sudden, I won't be walking anymore.
Oh.
So
hobbling.
Yeah. Oh man.
You
And I
gotta
didn't learn
start
my lesson.
working on your tentacles.
I didn't learn my lesson. I kept fighting for like 10 years after that. So I've got other worse injuries.
Yeah, that's
That was
pretty
just-
fucking dumb.
I tended to set my own bones and to stitch my own fucking gashes and shit like that. And because I didn't trust doctors. I still don't trust doctors. And frankly,
Sorry, are you Batman?
no, I'm just a really, really stupid guy. Because I have bones that didn't set
are you
right.
Batman?
So no, I don't set your own bones. It's not a fucking good idea. I am not talking about it in the sense that I'm a badass and I can do anything, rub some dirt on it and walk it off, kids. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I did it, and I'm paying for that decision now in ways I didn't see coming. Don't do what I did. Get a professional. to put your bone back in place if you break
yeah,
it.
BTK's like, suck it up, Sam, shake it off.
Right? Rub some fucking dirt on it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, and that none of that had anything to do with illicit, you know, substances or any of that nature. No drugs, no alcohol, none of that stuff was required. I was just stupid, and I was young, and my body was in much better shape at the time. Although that I soon saw to that.
Yeah. Like, fuck this body.
Right?
Just get a new one.
You guys got to drop this Batman shit. I was poor as fuck at the time. It's part of why I didn't go to the fucking emergency room. You know, like it was just one of those things, man. Like, not only could I not afford to have shit fixed, but I didn't trust doctors, and frankly, COVID-19 bore that out. So I just did it myself. I had so you know, on your hand, on your pinky, the long bone in the hand that's actually between the pinky and the wrist. So I snapped that clean in two while I was hammer fisting my friend. I was trying to hammer fist his nutsack, and he brought his knee up instead, and that's what I hit. And it snapped clean in two.
Dear.
And it took me about a week before I even admitted that it was broken in the first place. A week of agony, but I was, too fucking stubborn to let, to do anything about it. So I was like, it's fine. Ow, I just hit it on the wall, but it's fine. And when I finally recognized what the problem was, and it allowed myself to realize I'd broken my goddamn hand, I set it myself, and it was not a clean break. It was very painful. And I had nothing, I had no cast or anything like that. So I ended up using a bowling brace to kind of keep my hand steady during the course of it healing. Well, a bowling brace only has the metal on the top and the bottom, not on the side where the actual break is. So I kept hitting it on shit and having to reset it. I reset this fucker 7 times, and now there's a noticeable fucking lump in it where it healed wrong.
Sam is not a doctor. He just plays one in real life.
Oh, that's why we got the ticket.
He's not only not a doctor, apparently he's fucking retarded.
Yeah, I started with that in the story, Abe. I don't know where you were, but
yeah. Holy shit. Well, yeah. At least you evolved.
Okay, I survived. There's that.
There you go.
I don't know about evolved. Because if I'm being perfectly honest, I would probably fucking do it again.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, knowing what I know now, I know what to avoid at this point as well. But yeah, it's just,
so now you just do it badly in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, don't make exactly the same mistakes you've made before. Make whole new ones. So
fuck yeah. Let's do this.
I did crack my skull open when I was 7. Yeah. That happened a couple of times. But the big one was when I was 7. It was bleeding everywhere. There's still a scar on top of my fucking head.
How are you still alive? My gosh.
It was the 80s.
Oh, man.
It was the 80s.
I smacked my head on the corner of a pavement once. And I had this big fucking thing on the back of my head. And I was on a bus. And I pressed the button to stop the bus. And some guy walked past me and he went, "Thanks, Jew." I was like, bro, this ain't a yarmulke. What the fuck? Yeah.
Well, Blondie, come back or I'll bite your kneecaps off.
It's a flesh wound.
Right. It's, this isn't by way of my saying, yeah, suck it up and rub some dirt on it. Like I was saying, I'm just telling you guys, I've made mistakes. And for the younger viewers out there who should not be viewing this channel anyway, but if you are, don't do it. Learn from people around you who have been through shit. Don't do the same things they did, especially if it's causing them trouble continued to this day. It's not fucking worth it. It's not, like on the one hand, I get that some people have to make, mistakes on their own. They have to, make decisions on their own. They got to go through stuff on their own. I understand that there's a whole learning process for people sometimes like that. I'm just saying, on occasion, maybe look to your elders and be like, yeah, that was dumb as fuck. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? Like, I say it kind of facetiously, but, don't do it.
Right.
But if you want to.
I mean, like, it's not like I can stop you. Again, I'm not your fucking mother. I'm just saying, maybe don't, do what I did, because I live in pain because of what I did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about, I wouldn't call it crippling or anything, because I'm able to cope pretty well most of the time. I'm so used to it, I don't even notice it unless it, gets flared up or whatever. But I know when it's going to rain and I know when it's going to snow, and that's as a result of 2 entirely separate injuries in different locations of my body.
Yeah. You can feel it.
And I can feel the difference between the 2.
Yeah.
And that's not something you should be aware of in your fucking bones. So, just I don't know. Be better.
Look on the
Be better
bright
to
side,
yourself.
it's useful.
Yeah, be better to yourselves than I was to me. Not that I wouldn't go back and change anything either. If that whole thing where people say, "Oh, if you could go back, it's one thing you change." Not a goddamn thing. All the tragedy, all the horror, all the good stuff, and the excitement and the great things as well. I wouldn't change a single fucking thing, because if I did, I wouldn't be in the same place that I am now. I wouldn't be the same fucking person that I am now. And I kind of like who I am now. So
you wouldn't have learned the lessons that you've learned from.
Yeah, and as it turns out, I had some very difficult lessons to learn because I'm a fucking moron. But I did learn them, and I'd still say that I probably don't know all that much, but it's what it is.
Well, that's the first part of the battle, isn't it? Knowing your own level of ignorance.
Yeah. What did Socrates say? Is that true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing.
Yeah. And also, Publilius Cyrus also said, observation is the source of wisdom, not age.
I kind of agree with that. I think there's some things that you can only observe with age. I think there's some experiences.
Well, that's funny, because I've met people that are in their 70s that are retarded.
I'm not saying everybody learns the lessons, Abe. I'm saying that that's when you learn them. Just saying that some things only come with age, and experience and that sort of thing. Not everything, obviously. And that's why I'm encouraging people to look to their elders and listen to them and see what they've gone through and hear their stories.
Sure.
Because you can learn from them.
You could almost call that observation.
Which you glean by observing someone else's wisdom that they gain through experience.
Yes. Learn from other retards.
Yes. And make no mistake, we're all retarded.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, blindies.
Which one? Hard R retarded? Is that the one you're laughing at? Yeah.
Gosh.
Retarded.
Matt Damon.
Convenient to have your own unintentional. I mean, it's not fun. I don't know what to tell you there. It hurts. So it's like a one of them's like a dull ache and the other one is a little sharper.
Yeah, and just like, oh, what's that?
I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna rain.
It's gonna snow next Monday.
It's gonna rain. Well, how do you know? Because my fucking ribs are killing me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the ribs, it's the knees. Yeah, it's gonna snow.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not something I enjoy. I would much rather be more surprised about the oncoming weather. Which, by the way, I'm gonna bitch about the weather for a second.
Yeah.
So last week,
Mhm.
we had a blizzard come through here. It got cold as fuck. It's been 80 degrees ever since. If
Can
you
someone
want,
translate that from freedom units?
it's very high by comparison to what it was. Okay, so 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius,
Okay.
right? Which
Like-
is the freezing point of water. So prior to that, it was 9 degrees Fahrenheit. And then when it
Damn.
warmed up, it was 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a significant difference.
That's
Yeah.
a bit of a leap.
Yeah. Basically, we're getting summertime temperatures, even though we just had a winter storm in spring.
Yeah, in such a short time as well.
Yeah, it's kind of hell on the joints. It's I'm having a hard time getting used to the temperature shift. It's
Jesus.
fucking with my sleep. It's fucking with my my work ethic and my lethargy levels and all that, because you get used to one thing or the other, but to make that shift is very
Yeah.
difficult for a lot of people, especially me. I'm saying especially
This
me
is
because-
why when it gets hot in the UK, we whinge about it so much because we're just not used to it.
Yeah.
right.
It goes
Yeah.
from just cold all year round to, oh my God, I'm fucking dying for like
Yeah.
2 weeks of the year. And then it goes back to being cold again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abe,
Yeah.
so for like Celsius here in Toronto, like we were bouncing around from -10 to +20.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so everyone's coughing and sniffling.
And I think I don't remember correctly, but I think that when I mentioned 9 degrees Fahrenheit earlier, I think that that's actually somewhere around like 10 to 12 minus in Celsius.
Yeah, it gets closer when you guys go under
Fucking hell.
freezing, right?
Hey,
Like-
well, the actual point where they meet up is negative 40 degrees is the same in both.
Okay.
I think
And
the
it-
very concept of homeostasis has given up on North America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have. It might have. You know, it's really fun. Sometimes it gets cold enough here. We had a couple years ago, a winter here, where we had
Yeah.
a solid week of temperatures that, plus the wind chill, were fast approaching 70 below Fahrenheit, which is the point at which steel becomes brittle and you can snap it with your bare hands.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, we were actually
Wow.
the coldest place on Earth for a week. We beat out even the coldest spots of Canada and Siberia.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Jesus, being
Fucking
Siberia.
Siberia was warmer than where I live for a week a couple of years ago.
Fucking hell.
So during that week, I mean, they had cold spikes and shit over there that year too, but it was during that week we were the coldest place on Earth. It was uncomfortable. It was the kind of cold, like
That's
when you get
mental.
when you get to like 40 degrees below, right? It's the kind of cold where you can say, and actually you don't even have to get to 40 degrees before you start seeing this phenomenon. We have this thing in the area that is referred to by the locals as twinkling death, and I'm sure it exists elsewhere, but that's what we call it here. Where essentially what that means is when you go out into the cold, you can see the ice crystals in the air at night, like catching like whatever stray ambient light is going
Yeah.
around. And when you can see that phenomenon, which is very, very pretty, get the fuck inside or get covered up and warm as fast as you can. Because if you're on any exposed flesh, hell, even if you breathe too much of the cold air into your lungs, it can kill you in minutes.
Mm. Yeah.
Which is
Why
why we
the
call it,
fuck does anyone live there?
well, because liberals have a very hard time with low temperatures.
Touche.
No, I live in one of the parts of the U.S. One of, not the only, but one of the parts of the U.S. where people who want to be left the fuck alone go to live. We're hardy people, and that's just kind of the way it is. You accept the good and the bad. I'm not saying I love everything about this state, especially not weather-wise. It's fucking awful sometimes. But I could be in places where it's nice and temperate all year round, and everybody sucks.
Yeah.
So
that's the UK right now.
I was thinking California, but yeah.
I fucking miss snow so much.
Yeah. And I don't even live in the coldest place in the fucking continental United States. It just got that cold in this location that one fucking time. You know, there are other places. Minnesota gets regularly to those temperatures. You know, North Dakota is notorious for it, especially because they're flat plains with nothing to stop the goddamn jet stream. You know, the wind coming through. Alaska has a couple of inhabited points that are horrendous with the temperatures, and they don't see the sun for fucking a month. You know? So there are other places that are more consistently worse than here, but on occasion we outshine them all for a brief moment.
Yeah.
At least like in places where it's bad like that all year round, like they're set up for it much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because we kind of like in Texas. You remember a couple of years ago in Texas when they had that blizzard that fucked their infrastructure and a bunch of people died and all that stuff because they just weren't prepared for it because they don't get those kinds of storms down there. The last one, anything like it, was like 100 years prior. We know that the weather's going to try and murder us. We just don't know how. So we tend to prepare for everything. So,
there's a couple of Scandinavian countries that actually have heated roads.
Right. Yeah. We would invest in those, but unfortunately the companies that contract out to build and maintain our roads out here are continually contracted to repair them too, so they don't do such a great job. And it would be really cost ineffective to heat those roads if they were just going to be out there tearing them up every fucking summer, like they do. Yeah. So, like they say, we've got 4 seasons like everybody else. We've got winter, more winter, still winter, and road construction. That was a joke, guys. It was supposed to be funny.
Okay.
So, it's true though. We do say that. You know, winter, more winter, still winter, and road construction are the 4 seasons in Wyoming. Nope, not knocking at a woolly mammoth. It was just a woolly dude.
No, woolly dude.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna hit a chick, so you know, forgot to laugh. My bad. Yeah. Speaking of taking me back to the fucking 90s, man. That was so
I'll
fun.
hit her. Who do you want me to hit?
Right. Oh, nobody. Don't do that. I'm not gonna encourage that. My ex-wife.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's not okay. Besides, my sister's first in line. She'll take it personal.
Nice.
Damn it.
I don't know. This seems like a good place to end the show because I'm just kind of rambling now, and y'all are just sort of like along for the ride. And I do apologize. I intended to be more of a discussion than it was just me fucking ranting, but here we are. So sorry. Thanks for coming to
Is this not every show we do together?
Not quite. I'm quiet on other people's shows. You know, but,
so shooting the shit and touching a tish.
Thanks for coming to my rambling Temu TED Talk, I guess. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is a good place to end. At least we, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We did intend to kind of get into some other stuff a little bit in terms of like pop culture and all that. But honestly, we're not that focused on it. We tend to do niche stuff here anyway when we were talking about that sort of thing. And the rest of it that's kind of related to all that is all drama news anyway, and that's really more Larry's forte. I don't give a fuck about any of that. So,
So can we just give a one final pour one out for Chuck Norris, y'all?
absolutely.
Yeah.
R.I.P. dude. R.I.P. An American legend.
In peace, man.
Absolute legend.
Yeah. We'll probably be bringing him up tomorrow as well. But yeah, Chuck Norris passed away in the wee hours of the morning. Today, actually. I don't know. And,
I always thought Chuck would come for death, not the other way around.
How do you know he didn't?
Oh, we don't? Don't know?
I'm just saying, if the Reaper shows up and he's got a certain iconic jaw and beard, right? You know, Chuck won that fight and took his job.
Death bowls up and he's like, could you please come with me? Chuck's like, I guess.
Yeah. He's he was a legend. The guy was just an American icon, you know, not just because he was one of the greatest action stars ever to come out of our entertainment industry ever.
Yep.
But you know, he cared about people. He was a good man. You know, he did his best where he could. Tried to help people get healthy. You know, he was a good dude. And he will be missed. Yeah. I'm not as sad as I probably would be. The guy was 89 years old. And he's
some good innings.
Lived a very full life and affected a lot of people in some very positive ways. You know, I mean, the man left a legacy behind, and I don't think he's going to be forgotten anytime soon. I am sad that he's gone, but I'm grateful that we got him for as long as we did, because that's a long life these days. So, you know.
And time waits for no man.
Mm-hmm.
Even Chuck, apparently.
Chuck died 20 years ago, but the Grim Reaper was afraid to tell him. Yeah. I've been seeing some stuff like that. Somebody, fucking Variety put out this idiotic article talking about how his politics would overshadow his legacy. And everybody's been talking about that shit on Twitter. And I did see one response to it that was really funny. It was just like, no, that's not true. That's not true at all, because Chuck destroyed his shadow while shadow boxing, and that's why you never see his shadow when he sneaks up behind you. You know, Chuck could never be overshadowed because he destroyed his own shadow.
See, that's the thing. Even in death, his memes are going to carry on. Even about his death. You know what's funny is he hated those at first. At first, he was not very happy about the Chuck Norris internet machine memes and whatnot. But then he came around. He came around on him. He started fucking like leaning into it a little bit, man. And he was actually a really, not at first, but later on, he was a really good sport about a lot of that shit. Particularly the one which I've heard him actually repeat a version of, where once a cobra bit Chuck Norris, and after 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died. Yeah. Was that the one in one of the Expendables movies?
I think they did use that one in there too. Yeah, but it started on an internet message board. So
that is legit.
B-roll stage has just rated our stream over on the Rumble side. Howdy, man. Thanks for stopping in. We are actually just wrapping up, but thank you for that. That's awesome. So, I don't think I've ever been rated on Rumble before. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
Rating.
Oh yeah, we got Dude Bro Seth in the chat. Welcome in. All that. B Lawrence. Howdy. We appreciate you guys coming in. We are unfortunately just wrapping up the show. Abe and I have another one we've got to get to here shortly on Beelzebub. But I do very much appreciate it. This is awesome. You guys are sweet. Yeah, they're flooding the fucking chat over here on the Rumble side. That's amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that much engagement on Rumble at all.
Nice.
Wow.
We'll have to work on that.
Right? I mean, it's fine. It is what it is, but yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming in. It was really awesome of you. Thank you. But that said, we are wrapping up. We do need to get out of here. R.I.P. Chuck Norris and Aaron Laura. Do you have anything you want to say before we head on out?
I am Erin. You can find me here Friday nights and Saturdays in the chat. That's my outro.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Abe, do you want to pimp your wares to the people out there in YouTube land and Rumble?
Yeah, I'll be everywhere all the time. Find me, Abe's gonna get you.
Fair
Thanks.
enough. Fair enough. And as for myself, you'll find me over on Beelzehub for Beelzepub here in about half an hour. Then we'll be back tomorrow afternoon for Screaming into the Void. I will most likely be helping out on Exiled Lioness 2 after that tomorrow night. Depending on whether or not that goes forward, depends on how early this happens, but we will also be picking up with our Crimson Desert streams after that, late Saturday night. Otherwise, kind of the usual shit. We'll be playing video games throughout the week. Not on Sunday, but after that. And then we'll be back here for more Abyssal Musings next Friday. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night, and everybody. And yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all I got. It could be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras in Minnesota. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.